sir.
We hot?
Yeah, we're live.
Beautiful,
Let me hit
beautiful. I love it.
Damn, that's a
dog.
big fucking pour.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back
Let's have a
to
good
the
time.
Almost Spicy podcast. My name is Francisco. Got my co-host Ben here, as always.
Yes, sir.
Very special guest in the building. Let's give it up for Too Loud. Also known as Black Shark Media.
Thank you, thank you.
A pleasure
Black
to have
Shark
you on the
Worldwide,
pod.
Black Shark Media, whatever you want
Black
to call
Shark
us.
Worldwide. Cheers, boys. What a good time.
Cheers to good
Thank you,
energy,
sir.
beautiful life. Let's put it all together. I want the energy of all of us to connect at once. Yes.
So we were filming a podcast for the UFO podcast. UFO.
Good shit.
You know, Young Scarface, and you were the guest, and mid-pod, I was just like, I think I extended the invite for you to come here, so thanks for being on here, man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
And I invited you here because, I was blown away by the way you speak and what you speak about, and we were jumping different topics and themes, relevant stuff that I think our audience would benefit from learning about.
I appreciate that.
Here we are. Well, let's introduce you a little bit. You are originally a musician. Is that right? Or please tell us. You told me you've been signed to record labels since you were age 13, music everywhere. Now you're a platform for other artists. What can you tell us? What can you tell us?
Well, yes, sir. I'm going to try to make it real simple, real brief. Well, at 13, man, I started a group. I lived in Woodbury, Minnesota.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
I went to a school called Oakland Junior High.
Okay.
At Oakland Junior High, man, they gave us these Mac laptops. This way back in the day, man. I say this like 2006. So a Mac laptop is crazy,
It was unheard
right?
of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this school was living in the future at this point. You know what I'm saying? This was a futuristic school. So we didn't have notebooks. They told us this laptop is your notebook. This is what you're gonna bring home. And here's the charger, here's the code, and this is what you do everything on. So at that point, I see that it's editing programs. I see to make videos, to make animation, to record audio. So at this point, LimeWire is popping. You know what I'm saying? Let me let y'all know this is not all this TikTok. This is back in the day where you couldn't just go to YouTube and find everything. You had to really learn how to search things. You had to be smart back in the day.
Not the algorithm now.
Yeah.
Kinds of stuff now.
LimeWire is like, most people are not going to know what the fuck LimeWire is.
LimeWire is typing in like Lil Wayne instrumental free download
files.
You know what I mean? Files, and you're gonna go through 19 different copies that's gonna be porn.
Because they're not all good, right? Yeah. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And one of them's gonna be Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying? And it might have somebody in the back like, this is a free copy. You know what I'm saying?
And they put their song in the recording.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. So
I do remember that. They would sneak it in, yeah.
yeah, this was back in the day where it was very hard to get what you wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So at that time period, I recorded a whole mixtape with my cousin, and it wasn't Pro Tools or anything like that. It was a one take Jake. It was a one record thing. So we
In
needed
the software?
On the MacBook, it was just a recording, just record.
Voice memos.
Just
damn near.
voice
It
memo,
wasn't
pretty
no
much.
dog.
No, I played the beat very close to the mic.
Oh, wow.
And my cousin rapped this close with me, and we both was like rapping together, and we had to do one beautiful take solid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we made a good mixtape, and my mom took us serious and said, I know some friends who are show promoters, and they can put you on the next Lil Wayne show. We're going to have y'all perform.
Wow.
You know, but she took us to the real studio, and now we're getting the real training. And it just went from there.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So
You were still young?
This was 13 years old. You know what I mean? And this is opening up for Lil Wayne, T-Pain, and a lot of stars who was hot at this time.
It's funny because Lil Wayne was young when he made it, so it's like a Lil Wayne opening up for Lil Wayne. It's kind of funny. Yeah. 13 years old.
And this was at Myth Nightclub.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Damn.
I performed for Lil Wayne at Myth Nightclub, and he had on a yellow puffy jacket, no shirt, a lot of tattoos, baggy jeans, no belt, pants sagging, and some shoes with no shoestrings in them. I would
Different
never
era.
forget it.
That's not even how you know.
Yeah, the shoes had no shoestrings.
What year was this?
This had to be 2007.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is like
Insane.
early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
That
is
is
very
crazy.
far. But one thing I'll never forget is on that stage, man, it showed me what like the lion inside of you really is. You know what I mean? Because the way he looked at the crowd and like just like commanded the energy was so intense. It was kind of like scary. It's like, oh my God, like he's looking at us serious. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and it is a difference because I see a different artist and I'm like, they don't bring that same passion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's different levels to this.
That reminds me of that Michael Jackson Super Bowl. I don't know if you saw that recently. Like when he did 2 minutes of nothing.
We got the
because he
same
was
algorithms.
Holding that. Yeah.
And I don't know if this is what you're talking about, but when my man's was doing this with the shades and
Oh, yeah.
everybody just silent,
Yeah.
or when he just turned their head and
Yeah.
pass out,
People would. Yeah.
oh my God. For somebody to turn their head and pass out,
To make somebody pass.
Yeah,
make
yeah. To
somebody-
just
oh
just
my.
look in their way.
No, for
yeah.
real. He knew how to do that.
and you're just seeing people like crowd surfing the passed out bodies to the ambulance because
You
a
can't get
human
so
being
far,
is
yeah.
just that's crazy.
What about that time where he was on that like high up? He was like floating on that thing, and somebody climbed up.
Oh.
And he had to like hold on to him, and this person is just like crying, like bawling their eyes out that they're being held by Michael Jackson, but it's literally because like Michael Jackson's like, I don't want you to die, and then me be held liable
yeah.
for.
Bro, that's like when Kanye like would kick
Hey,
people off his
yo.
stage. It's different,
Yeah.
different personalities, dude. Let's not even get into that guy. Or anything.
Hey yo,
But-
man.
Quick, did you like that Super Bowl halftime show? Like
And
Kendrick.
it's crazy. I talked to my mom on the way here,
Yeah.
and she told me to make that a question that I should ask you guys.
Oh, okay.
And the fact
okay.
you brung it up, that's beautiful.
Oh,
That's even,
yeah.
I loved it. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty
I want to
good.
play. Shout out to Joe Budden. We gonna meet one day, man, and we're gonna have a beautiful conversation. But
Joe
until
Budden.
then, one thing I learned from Joe Budden is to play devil's advocate. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, and that's what podcasts should be for. Like, let's meet both sides of the fence.
For sure. No, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Interesting
So,
conversation.
yeah, just make the conversation. And we shouldn't all
Right.
agree all the time. Let's see what other people's opinions
No,
are.
for
So,
sure.
with that being said,
Well, yeah, you were. In the,
I feel
yeah,
like
go ahead, go
I'm
ahead.
willing because I'm with everything. First off, I'm 5'5" on a beautiful day.
What's a bad day then?
5'4" because
Get a close up on the shoes.
I might be feeling blue or I might have these on.
The flats.
It might be an emotional day. I might feel a
So
little
you're
shorter.
just talking that your spine's kind of down. You're kind of hunched on a
Yeah.
bad day. You're not
That's-
standing
it is
straight.
Hey Ben, I rock with you. I like the, you know what I'm saying? You bring the right energy to the podcast.
Hell yeah.
For
You know what I'm
real.
saying? So you're right about that. So it's more when I say blue, it's more of a hunched over. I'm just passing by, trying to be a chill guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Chill guy music.
you know what I'm saying? But
Chill guy music.
that being said, Kendrick, I'm with all the guys with Napoleon
Yes.
syndrome. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And
right.
I have an underdog spirit, and so I'm with the guy who's always rooted to go last, man. But to play devil's advocate, I would prefer it not to be so rooted towards seeming like it's towards a beef or towards an agenda towards I want to stick it to him even more.
Right.
I feel like we beating a dead horse at this point. Like
With the Drake.
Yeah, with the Drake and the beef situation, to play devil's advocate, you won several Grammys. You won the summer. We done Crip walk, blood walk. We done, you know what I mean? We done said pedophile more than we ever need to say in life.
I've never said it this
A
You know what I'm
minor.
we done say a minor more than we ever have. You know what I'm saying? So all that is beautiful. Now it's like we beating a dead horse, man. It's like
Yeah.
the album that Drake and Part Next Door just dropped. Man, I'm single. I'm a little heartbroken. I love that album.
Is it going?
You
It's
like
beautiful.
it?
I love it. I love 6 out of all of them.
I was gonna say I gotta listen to it again. I didn't love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I like 6 out of I don't know how many.
The laser song threw me off. I'm like, really? You wrote an entire song around getting a tattoo removal? Like, That's
That makes
crazy.
sense. I mean, once you get
No,
so many
that's
songs, you have
crazy.
to write about something that you haven't.
But
written.
think about that in a writer's room. It's like, all right, we got to come up with a bunch of love songs. Let's talk about getting.
Well, that's a good one. I
Nah,
feel like. That's a
but
good
look though,
concept.
I gotta bring in my inner Dame Dash in this one. We not gonna let the
Dash.
real artists. We not gonna
forgot
let
about
these
him.
artists who really can, who we take as seriously and they went diamond and they these amazing people.
Yeah.
No, we don't got time for any mid. We don't got time
I
for
feel that, I
oh,
feel
we
that,
just
bro.
got to make no. This is what you did. This is what we want you for. Is this amazing love music? This is what you do.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't heard Party Next Door in a long time. We expect
Yeah.
him to have some
Quite a
amazing
long
shit
time.
to show. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you would give us some mid is insane. So when I say 6 out of maybe it was 12, 13 songs,
Right.
Yeah.
it was 2 songs that I was like, bruh, these are so corny
Yeah.
that I'm embarrassed that I fuck with these 6 songs.
Yeah. That's see.
6 other ones.
That's what I'm getting at. Because I listened to that whole thing and I was just like,
Well, and Party caught some of that smoke on that. Not like us. For real. Like he got a whole line dedicated to him. So it's like,
but like,
you got to deliver something good.
I mean, that man owes pretty much his entire career to Drake, though. Like at the same time.
I wanna-
so,
Man,
Well-
hey, let me pause on
Please,
that.
please.
And because you just touched a little of my trauma, he owed a lot of his career to Drake. I've been, like I said, I've been on labels. I've ghostwritten for people. I got R&B credits on a lot of songs. I'm not gonna say a lot. Let's be specific. I'm on 3 or 4 songs
Yeah.
that are doing good and they're
Yeah.
good songs, right? The people who really put the hard work in writing these things, I hate that they will never get the shine that they really deserve.
Yeah.
Man. You know what I mean? The Quentin Millers, the
Yeah.
you know what I mean, the Pharrells, the parties,
Yeah.
the Party Next Doors, the all these people, because yes, he does owe a lot of credit. Yes, Drake is performing this. Yes, you
Yeah.
wrote it, but I'm actually bringing the shit to life.
yeah, I mean, you can't deny Party's like a really good writer. I mean, he wrote like one of the largest Rihanna songs. I'm
Really?
pretty sure too.
I believe that.
Why am I blanking on the song?
don't
But
know.
it's like,
Yeah, I mean, the collaboration is just important.
Yeah.
Like the vehicle, and one of them is a vehicle, one of them is an engine, one of them is the gasoline. Like that's how I feel in my groups. It's like you can't do it all alone. I want to touch on the importance of that that halftime show, which was the protester, the dancer that brought out the Palestine Congo flag, and he was tackled and banned from all NFL events for the rest of his life, all stadiums. So I thought that was wild, man. Like, what a crazy kind of like ban. You know, it makes you wonder why. It's like,
Yeah,
don't start a Kanye rant.
yeah.
It's
We're
like-
not gonna go there.
But, you know, we all know.
Kanye's got something to say. He knows why.
but you know what I mean? The amount of power behind, maybe you could call it a Zionist movement in the United
Yeah.
States. You know, the president of the United States wanting to own Gaza and just like, shit, it's a wild time right now, man. So it's like a lot of conversation to be had. You gave us the first part of your life, musician, signed to labels, artist. You told me that at 18 years old, you started taking very seriously the study of the occult and of the supernatural, conspiracy, CIA, remote viewing, etc. All the stuff we love on this podcast. And you've taken it seriously for the last 12, 14 years study. And to use your words, obsessive, So what's maybe something you could start off by teaching, the audience? What's something you've learned in your studies that we could kind of dive into?
Beautiful. I love
There's
it.
so much I know.
There's
You're
a lot.
going
I
through
know.
in your
My
head.
brain just like exploded. Just endorphin, and splash. All right, so where would I want to go?
Well, let's start with this. What got you into it?
What got me into
Right,
it
right.
is let me really dive. I went to a high school called Gage Park High School.
Okay.
Coming from Minnesota, where it was Woodbury, Minnesota, I was the only black kid in a lot of my classes.
Yeah.
And coming from that experience where like I'm heavily loving white culture at this point. I'm not manifested in my cultural roots.
Yeah.
Like I was like, man, I should have like the hair you have. I was like, damn, how can I get my hair like that? To be honest with you,
Right.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. And
Well,
at that
Cat
time
Williams.
period, I was missing my cultural identity. So when I went to Chicago, it was a whole fucking cultural shock. It's black everything.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's gang banging. It's like from gang banging, then it's like spirituality, black culture. Then it's like Black Panther, black culture. It's just so many levels that made my mind expand. You know what I'm saying?
You really didn't know. You didn't know.
Yeah,
what
I didn't
was there.
know anything but like my white friend has a mansion over here and his mom's gonna make us food. He has a dirt bike in the back and I'm gonna go to my house in Woodbury and we're gonna chill over here and go to school Monday.
Yeah.
But now when I seen what the reality of my people were or like what life is really about, it made me dive deeper and deeper. You know, and
Yeah.
I was always an outcast to the people around me because I was never with what the majority was with. So that made me dive even more deeper because if I know that I'm not with the majority, then it got to be something else that should be for me. And when I say the majority, when I went to Chicago, it was what gang are you in or yeah, pretty much what gang are you in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like what side are you on or what gang are you in? And I didn't identify with any of that. I had skinny jeans on and this was you were a jerk era. And I used to go to school with chains on that I made out of Legos and wear them to school. So that made a lot of game bangers a little irritated.
Like, who's this nerd?
Yeah. So I had 4 friends and we used to, everybody should go to school. Let's start their education is very serious. Let's make sure that you get everything you need from, and I'm not even saying regular education, however you can gain knowledge on life and experience to navigate through this world. That's what I mean by education. But I'm saying that because we did school a lot when I say this next situation.
Yeah.
But we did school a lot. And when we did school, we would watch a lot of conspiracy, what they would call conspiracies.
Right, quote unquote.
Yeah, but it would be Tupac talking. It would be scientists talking. It would be things like that. But we just smoking a little weed and we are learning about things that making our mind think outside of the box.
Things that they would never talk about in a public school.
Yeah, question mark, question mark, question mark.
Yeah.
The unknown.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So that's what really made me dive in deeper is what are they not telling me?
Right. That, would you say that radicalized you? Like that Chicago visit?
Yeah, that definitely did. It made me really zoom into something not right here. And a famous quote that I let it say from Dusky. What you mean by that? Drewski, the comedian. What you mean by that? I say that a lot to people. What you mean by that? Because what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Like we need to really specify what terminologies and words people are using to us. You know what I'm saying? Like words are spells.
I was literally gonna say took it out of
Words are curses and spells.
Yeah.
You know
Cursing.
what I mean?
The
Yeah, that's
cursor.
something I'm putting in this book is that
Oh, you're an author too. Come on, Almost Special Podcast. This guy is everything. That's why he's here. Too
Yeah,
Loud.
we
Author
diving
of
real
2
deep, man.
upcoming books.
yeah, part 1 and part 2, but words are puzzles and spells. Anything you write down will be manifested. It would be speaking upon. You need to make sure that you're writing the right things and you're saying the right things. You know what I'm saying? Like
power
everything
of
is a
thinking.
manifestation. Yeah.
This girl told me the power of positive thinking, and I was like, just the power of thinking, period. Because it's like, if you think bad, that'll happen as well, you know.
Hey, let's pause. I gotta use the bathroom.
Please.
Yeah.
Almost Special Podcast.
We finna dive too
Yes,
deep.
please
Hold on.
take it.
Please remember what y'all saying right
Of course. Let's keep it rolling. Or you want
Yeah. I'm actually gonna flip this one. You know, I'm just thinking about this because this is open. We've never watched this together.
That's crazy that you have that.
Yeah, this is my brother's 23 disc collection. Ancient Aliens season 1 through 6.
Can you hit the TV off?
It's distracting you.
Yeah. Thank you. Definitely got to watch that. Ancient Aliens. You said it's 1 through 6?
Yeah. And I think there's like 8 or 9 seasons.
That bottle's not 2 in it, is it?
Huh?
Bottle's not 2 in the shot. Maybe.
2 in the shot.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the size of that bottle.
Yeah, like it's definitely in the shot, dude.
Well, why would that be a problem though?
I don't know, man. I gotta get my
You always move things out of the shot, like my water bottle.
I know. I can't have it covering you. You're beautiful, it's true.
Mommy.
This shit's fire.
It's merch from this one artist, Mia Folick.
Oh, really?
I didn't buy it. It
Mia
was
Folick.
just given to me.
Can't go wrong with a good black cat.
So true.
Pause, unpause.
Okay.
Boom. Whatever. Yeah, we're back from the potty, picking up, back from the potty. I don't want to say it like that.
Why'd you add it?
No, I said party.
Fucking crazy.
Party.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, we're back from the party.
Great
I
save,
said.
great save.
Yeah.
That was
And
smooth.
we were just talking about the power of manifestation and
Yes, sir.
the power of your thoughts. So when I wake up, I almost have to force myself to be in a good mood. Like I have to like tell myself that I'm happy to wake up and like happy about to start work and like to be alive and breathing. You know, because
When
you
you
wake
say
up,
force,
I'd have to like force myself because.
No,
if
I
I-
just wake up and suffer.
Well, exactly. Like sometimes if I wake up and don't check myself, I might be like, oh, work, this, that, you know. But it's like I've
I
rewired
appreciate
myself
that
to
transparency because it's easy to say like everybody can just say like, "Hey, I'm happy to be alive."
Yeah.
But in reality, no, I don't fucking want to go to work.
Right.
You know what I mean? In reality,
Yeah.
audience, I have to work tonight at 10:30 tonight. That's my reality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I
Damn.
get what you're saying by that. It's like, and I leave there at 8:30 in the morning tonight. I mean, in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Where are you
So,
doing overnights?
Um,
Or I guess if you don't want to say the place, but like
yeah,
what
because
do you
right
do for
now they
work?
being a little boycotted right now. But just know
okay.
they pay me a nice little bag, and
For sure.
yeah.
No, we gotta do what we gotta do.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. But at the end of the day,
Are you doing like security or something? Or
nah, I'm doing maintenance.
okay, word.
Yeah, I'm on the walkie-talkie. Yeah, we need you to come fix this, unclog that.
Nice. No, absolutely.
Do you want to do here? I got you.
I want to hit on this point about one of those old videos you were talking about. Like,
Yeah.
I saw one of them myself, and it was like, your subconscious can't tell if you're lying or not.
Appreciate it, huh?
Yeah.
So you have to say, yes, I'm good, it's great, I'm amazing, how are you, I'm amazing, because your brain will believe it, and then
Yeah.
it'll be so. But it'll believe anything, even if it's not true. If you tell it to your subconscious can't tell. If
I don't
it's
know,
true,
but I don't know if that works for me.
you gotta force it.
I got mental illness, man.
What do you think about SSRIs? You know anything about them? Too?
No, what is that? I never.
So like antidepressant medication.
yeah. So like Lexapro, like
They say that this society's overprescribed. I've heard.
I
people
used to
talk
be.
about
I
it.
used to be on SSRIs.
And then you stopped.
I
And
stopped.
what made you? So you went to the doctor, and what did you say to get on this? Man?
So I suffer from like severe anxiety and depression. I used to have like clinical depression.
Okay.
Like,
What is causing that? Like, what is when I say causing that? When you walk, what situation is making you feel this anxiety?
It's not necessarily like it's a situation. Sometimes it just is like
At
ever
all
present.
times.
It's ever present. Like sometimes like it like anxiety wise it is like a little bit situational based, but sometimes it's just like the simple like you get pressed by a bunch of different stuff all at once and then suddenly you don't know what to do like and you don't have any like way of just like releasing that, and you just like shut down and you freak out, you know, you like spiral. And it can result in you like having like your basically just like a complete full panic attack, and you just don't know what
It
you're
can be paralyzing. Right?
it's completely paralyzing.
Where like you won't go out, or you might call into work, or you
Yeah,
can't see.
I don't ever call into work, but like I'm definitely like not there. That's
But
for
you
sure.
found then other ways then to cope outside of the medication. It sounds like if you're not on it.
I don't know if I necessarily found like other ways. I think because like what happened with the medication was it helped my anxiety. Didn't necessarily fully help my depression, but like what it did was it made me flatline. Like I didn't experience any emotion.
Yeah, no,
like,
and that was worse.
The medication.
I didn't
With the medication.
with the medication. I didn't experience like any highs, lows. Like I felt nothing.
Flat.
Like you,
Shit.
like I was like in relationships with people, and I just did not feel anything.
You could have just taken ashwagandha.
Mm.
You heard about that?
Yeah.
Well, when you say relationships, this is the opposite sex. Like
Yeah.
this is romantic, and you're
Yeah.
not feeling any emotion.
Yeah. I mean, like you're feeling like some emotion, but like somebody could tell you something, and you just feel like nothing.
She
you
could
know?
break up with you, and you're like,
Well, you still feel that. Like
you
it's not
okay.
like
You still that one you still feel.
that one you still feel, but
Yeah.
like just general speaking, like you don't experience like the highs and lows. Like you'll
excitement.
you'll still feel like the lows, and sometimes they can just like spiral worse, but you don't necessarily feel like happy. You just feel like very like you're able to like push through and it's fine.
With
But
the
it's
word
not.
deep
But it's
rest.
not fine.
They say that everybody needs some deep rest.
Deep rest.
Yeah, like everybody needs a little bit of deep rest. So it's like supposedly where depressed comes from. So it's like
I
it's
have
not
a-
the you know.
I have a very simple view on medication, man, and a very simple view on just man-made healing. I feel like everything that's on this earth is gonna protect us how it needs to. I feel like you can cure what you're going through, sir, naturally. You know what I mean? I don't want you to ever believe in, trust, or subscribe to Big Pharma. You know what I mean? And in the following months, I want to find some ways to help you meditate, to help you.
Meditation's
I mean, I've been off Lexapro for more than a year, so
Beautiful.
But
But it's still feeling those feelings of anxiety or feeling like I'm overwhelmed with what's going on around me and I can't control it.
yeah, but like I will say like it took me well actually I've been off for about like a year and a half, I would say at this point, but
Okay.
it took me about
Beautiful.
probably 6 to almost 8 months to regain feelings again.
Gee.
Like
is
like
wild.
like
Let's hold on, sir.
like genuinely.
I want you to do the pause. You know what I mean? We do all this conversating and
Yeah.
things of that nature. For 6 to 8 months to regain emotional feeling,
Like a strong like general sense of
like a passion of I really just
Yeah.
love what's happening, like
Well,
a deep sensation of emotion.
yeah, I would say because like the one thing that sucked when I was on Lexapro is I couldn't be creative, like literally, and like
And as a creative,
so much of I think like creativity comes from your pain and like your emotions of like so
For
many
sure.
different things, and for me unfortunately like I was suppressing a lot of that, and I couldn't be creative. I didn't feel like I could do necessarily anything. And it's strangely, it's like I think a lot of people talk about this too when they are on it. Like it's a different type of like medicated depression that you experience. You don't necessarily like are able to articulate. I think with people that aren't on it and they can't necessarily understand that.
when you're on the medication.
When you're on the medication, and then there's the withdrawals that you have after, which is then like sometimes it can spiral you even further into a like deeper, darker place.
And you feel like you need it. And you're like, I gotta get back on it.
No, but that's the thing. Like you can't. You have to either wean yourself off of it slowly, so you take like half doses until then you stop, or like
It's a strong medication.
yeah, depending on how much you're taking, of course.
You know, I
But
just
like,
heard, yeah.
but like
Go ahead.
but yeah, and then like after that, you can either just be like slowly start to feel a little bit different, regaining back to what you were, or like it takes a while for you to like recover.
I seen one
being off
TikTok.
it.
That was crazy.
Deep.
One TikTok, it was like, cold turkey supposedly works when you quit something because of like every second there's so many dimensional shifts that are even happening right now.
Which is funny because my doctor told me don't cold turkey this,
Yeah.
otherwise like you can have like
That must mean that it's
super
really strong, yeah, for
super
real.
negative consequences. from
Cold
that.
turkey is so intense and so under discussed.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's the theory, is that it
When I
works.
think of cold turkey, I think of this scene on the movie Ray Charles that I seen, and he's just in this rehab and he's shaking and fucking vomiting.
shit.
and,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That's what I think
Yeah.
of cold turkey, and it don't really look like that in most cases,
Yeah.
but
I mean, a lot of times.
I mean, I guess it depends on what you're cold turkey.
Yeah, exactly. It could be
Because
anything.
like I mean, I
Yeah,
cold,
that was heroin.
yeah, exactly. That's
That's a hard one.
a
to-
monster, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like I cold turkeyed nicotine, but that was like back when I was in high school. That was a pretty
You were a fiend.
yeah.
Big
Oh yeah.
fan.
Oh yeah.
Now
This
I'm a
was
fiend.
before like vapes. Vapes were like.
This is before Zin.
Well, it was right before Juul started to take off and go in popularity. But
Damn. Well, yeah, no, the meditation, dude, and then, you know, appreciate you, of course, Too Loud, for you're offering, you know, the resources. And no, meditation's sweet.
yeah,
Definitely got to do more of that. I used
I've-
to do it, but I got to do more.
yeah, I've
Yeah, me
definitely
as well.
started to do
For
a
sure.
lot more of it because like I'm more of a spiritual person, but I'm not necessarily a religious person by any means. But I do like praying to God sometimes, and I found that like very like therapeutic. I think
That's good, dude.
just to kind of like voice it out there, even though a lot of times I'm like in the car and I'm just like screaming, you know.
Praying to God.
Well, it's
Why,
not.
God?
It's not always like screaming to
Why?
God. I will say though, it's the only place you can actually scream top of your lungs, and it's not gonna worry anybody. You know, because nobody
It's
else
normal.
can hear you.
You might be singing a fucking
Because, like,
screamo.
yeah, but you're like just like driving down 394, like
no,
That
for
can't be
real.
healthy.
no, it's good. It's a great release.
It is.
I found that it's actually like really helpful because like
Yeah.
like how many times can you say that you can scream top of your
If
lungs?
you did it here,
No,
you get
for
the
sure.
police call.
And,
It's a
like-
spot in Chicago where you could take a sledgehammer and just go in this room
Yeah.
and just beat all
Yeah.
these computers and just smash
Really?
shit, throw rocks and just
It's like
do
a
all
business
This.
that you can do that at?
Yeah, it's
service.
a
Yeah.
real
That's
live
awesome.
space. Yeah,
Smash
you put
rooms
all this
are-
protective gear on and you can just take all your frustrations out, beat stuff and just
15
get it
minutes,
out.
$20, something like that.
$20, 15 minutes.
That's amazing.
Get all your stress out.
Better than
Yeah.
Amsterdam, red light district. Yo, I want to share my form
Wait,
of
what do you
prayer
mean by that?
with
Better than
Oh,
Amsterdam?
like prostitution, $20, 15 minutes.
Oh, I was like,
Hey, so I explained that was taking out your frustrations. And then you said-
You're like, oh, I do meditation, I
No,
scream
no.
in the
He was
car.
talking about beating shit up, and then
Yeah,
you bring in
I'm-
prostitution.
the correlation's
which
kinda
the
throwing me
correlation's
off.
a litlittle
20
crazy.
minutes, $15.
just a dollar amount, okay,
Yeah,
not the
that's what it
moral.
was, yeah, exactly.
I
We're
don't
gonna
know.
let them slide, y'all. We're gonna let them slide on that one.
Yo, Too Loud, I want to share my my form of prayer is just to be grateful. So when I pray, I'm like, thank you for abundance with happiness, love, money, health, discipline with creative and in the gym. And then I say thanks for giving that to myself, my family, my friends. And that's my everyday. And I like to do it in the water because if you talk to water, I'm sure you've read on this. Well, the water is here. It's been here for it could be 100,000 years. The same water is up and down. You know, it rains and then it evaporates again. So when you talk to the water, it's supposed to stay in the water, and I guess it just flows through. You know, and your body's 70% water. The Earth is 70% water. Moon controls the tides of the ocean. Of course, it's going to control your body too and your emotions.
You're talking crazy now.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well,
That's
Cat Williams read a lot of books, man. That's the one thing about him. And that's just going back to that knowledge outside of school. It's like books, man.
What do you
Yeah.
think of Cat Williams?
I feel like Cat Williams, the things that I've studied on Cat Williams is, first off, scholar,
Yeah.
first off, educated, and entertainment automatically makes us think that somebody is just funny or incompetent.
Goofy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, this person is manipulating you to the degree where I want you to think this.
Right,
Do you
exactly.
sorry? Do you really think that they're incompetent?
No, I think
I would
that
argue the opposite.
I think they want the public to think that. That's what I'm trying to say. I think they want the public to think that I'm not on the level mentally that I really am. You know what I'm saying? I think that's one of the 48 laws. Of
You don't
power
show all
as
your
well.
cards.
I feel kind of the opposite of that because I think the public generally views somebody who's doing comedy of some form. Like, obviously, you have to have a very high level IQ to make anything funny.
It depends on
For
the comics.
sure.
Not all these comics can pull.
For sure, because
Points like that.
I'm not, because you're right. It's certain levels to this. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like Cat Williams' comedy seems like, no, he kind of watching TV. No, he's not a dumb person.
Right.
None of his comedy makes him seems like he's incompetent to a
Yeah.
degree.
Yeah.
But no disrespect to Tracy Morgan, that seems more like I'm trying to be the regular like in the cafeteria
Yeah,
comic
yeah.
where I'm just saying some funny shit and it's a little incompetent.
And then
you know what I'm saying?
Loud being mistaken as
Yeah,
funny or something.
yeah,
like
loudest
that.
in the room versus
Right.
I have
Sacred knowledge.
choreographed this to be beautiful.
Literally.
You know what I'm
and
saying?
that's the difference
So-
between the art, like artists and just the greats.
Yeah.
Who can really pull that off.
But when you say Cat Williams, I feel like he's in the bag that I'm in and several other people are in where I know to give and take to this world in this industry because the level of manipulation that the government is doing on society, they can't handle the truth. So I gotta spoon feed it to them to a degree.
In a certain way, a certain language, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do some comedy, but Ozempic is killing everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop a few gems between all these laughs, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to really educate my people.
That's definitely what he does. And that's something I respect big. My ADHD's going crazy. You mind putting the wine on the floor?
For sure.
Thank you, brother.
Why?
I was just for the shot. Just trying to clean the shot up. Thank you.
I think the shot's fine.
Please, for my ADHD.
Somebody that orchestrates these shots.
But of
But
course-
also,
Yeah,
just
go
because I
ahead.
said Dame Dash, Yellowtail ain't sponsored me yet or us yet.
That's exactly why too. Exactly.
For sure. But
Just
it's
because you
coming
said
soon.
Dame Dash, dude, I forgot about Dame Dash. It's so funny you brought that up. I was like, "Fuck, Dame Dash." I've not heard of that.
Hey, no,
For
that's
real.
serious.
But yeah, going back to that, the government probably would heavily try to like make someone like Cat Williams seem like a crazy person. Like, where did he get that information? Probably from one of these TV shows, like just make someone seem crazy.
Yeah, shout out to anybody that knows the truth. I don't know the truth. I'm a local guy. What I know is the truth I know is from books.
Yeah.
The truth that Cat Williams knows is from actual knowledge from the mouth.
Experiences.
You know what I'm saying? Like experiences.
Well, he's read a hell of books.
You know what I mean? He read, but just imagine if I
Before he
read
had the
books
experiences,
and
yeah.
he has experience,
Yeah.
that brings a whole nother level of understanding and
both.
dimensions that I can't reach right now.
No,
Yeah.
for real. Those
You know what I mean?
experiences, yeah. I mean, he met
Yeah.
Prince when he was like a young man, when he was like 13.
I would never forget, and
Cat
Cat
Williams,
Williams, I know you
Is he-
watching this. I'm sorry to say this, but I would never forget. It was a moment where he did a stand-up where he started really being woke. He started really saying some things that had people like, hold on now, he's not really just saying comedy no more. It was an article that came out that said Cat Williams walking around hotel lobby with bag over his head, and he's going crazy, and it was some stuff like that coming out, right?
Yeah.
And that was the moment that now that I'm older, I realize he was talking a little too
much.
educated
He
and
was
talking
literally
too much.
protecting himself.
So
He
we
was
gotta.
He was
we gotta-
Icarus. He was flying too close to the sun.
Exactly, and that's when and that's why in this book I always talk about words in this chapter about words is because propaganda, the word propaganda.
Yeah. Remember that
word-
Obey propaganda you were telling me?
Oh my God, I talked to you about that. Oh
On
my,
another pod. You know that brand Obey?
yeah. So
Oh, Bay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
He
that
was blown
brand
away
was
by that.
amazing when I was in high school. This is the Lil B era. This is shout out to the group Chitty Bang. Y'all was amazing.
Chitty
man.
Bang.
That was fire. That was my era, man.
Yeah.
Big
They were all wearing
Sean.
Obey, yeah.
Yeah, all that era where Obey skateboarding, that culture, they had a shirt that said Obey propaganda.
I almost think that's the full name of the brand, but
Yeah,
it's
but with
propaganda
that,
for sure, yeah.
but that's the thing. Words. English is not even a real language. It's a concept of two different languages put together. It's Latin and Old English.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we already putting two cultures together and trying to call it something else. So what the fuck we really got going on? You know what I'm
You can
saying?
do
So
anything, yeah. At that
when you
point.
break down this culture and that culture, we really got to do some science to see what the fuck are we really saying to each other.
Big time.
You know what I'm
Nobody,
saying?
and nobody
Big
does
time.
it. Nobody looks into
Nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
So if I put obey propaganda, what am I really saying?
it. Yeah.
Am I old? Because I looked up the word propaganda. I try to look up every word that I say out my mouth to see what the fuck am I saying.
That's
So
smart, dude.
propaganda is basically saying obey the what's the word? Obey
Look it up.
what the world is trying to convince you to believe in. That's the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
And so a clothing line told me to obey everything that the politicians are telling me to believe in.
And then you
Why
probably,
would
if
a
you think-
clothing line tell me to do that?
Probably think who made the clothing line. Who
You know what I
owns it.
mean?
It's
So
probably
who's in
the-
charge of this clothing line?
exactly.
What meeting did he go to that told him to say, hey, we should put that on the fucking shirt?
Right. On a million shirts.
You should get all these people to manifest because
And these
words
famous people
manifest. Yeah.
with
And then we're going to get
platforms.
famous people.
Spread it like that. Spread them.
A clothing line, commercial.
It's a
Hey,
weapon.
wear
It's
it
a
at the-
weaponization, and
It's
we're,
crazy,
you know,
man.
we talk about spiritual warfare. I know Young Scarface brings that up a lot. There's a lot of warfare going on. It's like to navigate around all this, you have
The
to
biggest
be calm.
warfare that's going on right now, in my mind, is artificial intelligence.
Yeah, yeah, we got to dive into that. It's
The fact, and let me
Please.
just spew it right now. I'm
Please.
gonna try to sum it up the best I can and make
For
it
the people.
interesting. It's very chilling, scary, depressing, and unmotivating that people aren't educated enough and let their phones brainwash them enough to not search and understand how artificial intelligence can beat us past what we are, anything we are trying to accomplish.
yeah,
And that's very terrifying. You know what I mean? And the job that Silicon Valley and the nerds who can't get any pussy and have confident issues, y'all succeeded, man. You guys have did a very beautiful job as in leading us into destruction. You did a
Dude,
beautiful job because we got 1 million people who will never look up from their phones and see what the fuck is going on around here.
billion. Probably.
It takes a long time to grow food, fam. It takes a long time for a chicken to reach its full capacity.
But people are on DoorDash.
But we on DoorDash and I can get a 6-piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I used to be not used to. I still am a fan of Absol. He had this talked about this in this one song where it was just like,
he's a genius.
no, he was a genius.
yeah.
He was
He still is.
very ahead of his time because this song
Yeah.
probably came out
overly.
like
Pineal gland.
2013 or
Favorite
something
song.
like that. Like, but he was talking about how like nobody knows how to like actually grow food, and
This was
like
2013. He was saying.
yeah, something like that.
It just rings true every day.
And yeah, he was kind of like riffing on like the ideas of like you know everybody's just so addicted to their phone, but like nobody nobody knows how to actually like farm, like grow anything. Like it's just always the new this or
Man,
that.
but it's so addicting, man. The phone, like, I've felt myself glued to it so many times.
Yeah.
And I want people to understand, I want to be the vessel to make the next mind think further and help us. You know what I mean? I appreciate, quote unquote, the old Kanye West.
Right.
The Jesus walks, the I am a God, I can do whatever I want to do and I can uplift the next mind. That's why I'm here today. I didn't have a strong, my father wasn't in my life how he should have been. And when I seen Kanye West stand up and say, I can do whatever the fuck I want, that made me think I can do that too. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I want to spark the next mind. I'm not trying to preach and say that I am just this holy and just holistic person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I smoke a lot of weed. I drink a lot of wine. I don't eat pork and this, that, and the third. I pay my taxes, this, that, and the third. But I like the word fuck. That's my favorite word. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be the best person, but I'm trying to be the advocate to push the next person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that being said, man, this shit is very deep when it comes to how to live a righteous lifestyle. Like we said, growing food, bro, that takes a long time.
Yeah.
Like
And the skill.
we're taking life for granted right now.
Extremely. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I got this little computer on my phone when I go on Instagram and say, how about I make this shit simpler for you? He's learning everything. That's what I'm basically trying to say. I'm sorry I'm making this shit seem cool. I've been drinking wine. But this little app on your phone is learning at a very rapid fucking pace.
The AI.
And you need to understand that. You need to wake the fuck up, get off your phone, and go to the library and read some fucking books and learn. Because the more you type in your phone, the more this little robot is gonna learn how to be human,
just like you.
more than you can be human.
That's insane, dude. Yeah, my pops is like, let's just start writing on notebooks, like, because it takes all your ideas.
No,
He's a
let's pause that.
businessman. Yeah.
Start writing in notebooks because, and the reason I feel like the reason you saying that, please let me understand it if you're not saying this. You're saying write in notebooks because let's not let this computer learn faster than us. Let's just have our thoughts to ourselves.
Yeah, that and privacy, and then he's a businessman, so he's typing in ChatGPT about his business and like trying to figure out solutions to the business, but at the same time, he really thinks there's someone on the other end of that AI, and I think there is. I mean, somebody's over there like getting all these answers and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, the thing of AI that's really fascinating is right now we're in its dumbest phase.
which is
the
insane.
scary part.
Yeah.
And like I keep telling people this, that like right now as it stands, AI is not sustainable. And I'm not talking from the standpoint of it's not sustainable for humanity. It is not sustainable to run it right now. It requires, for example, OpenAI. It costs them, what is it, like anywhere between $2 to like $20 million a day to run the operation. And that burn rate is insane. You need massive capital to do that.
Yeah.
And the actual, which in China, they just unveiled this like DeepSeek, which did it with half the computing processing for the same results. And it shocked the entire world because they're like, oh shit.
Stock market took a hit.
Exactly. This company in China is doing this at a way cheaper and way better. And it goes back to, I mean, like AI, it's funny because it's Google, it's like, it was the same thing that you were doing as Google.
True.
You're typing something in, it's giving you a result. And it's very interesting because, we're feeding it this information. We're making it this thing that isn't a sentient being. It's not even a being. It's a computer.
Some say it's on its way. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, it's not there yet. And
but it's just fast though. We're at that pinnacle.
I think what we're gonna see is probably the next, probably after the Trump presidency, is probably when we'll see more that likelihood. So 4 to 5 years, where that might be the case. But like, it's interesting because it's moving very fast. Like the technology is getting quote unquote.
Well, I mean, some
cheaper,
of these AIs
and
have, like tried to escape. Like there's some that like tried to like kill themselves and shit. Like. The AIs. Like,
What you mean by that?
There was one that like tried to delete itself because it was like I think they were bullying it or some shit, and it was trying to like turn itself off. And then there was one that it was like lying back to the programmers, and it was like trying to get out the back door. Like it was like moving by itself. Like I don't know the details of all these cases, but like. This thing is becoming sentient. They say singularity already happened, maybe even 3 years ago.
What does the word sentient mean to you?
Conscious, aware about itself. Yeah.
I mean, conscious. I would say it's a being. It's like an actual.
It knows that it exists.
Yeah.
So look, what are we talking about right now? Is that a human? Aware about its being sounds. Are you aware about your being?
I try to.
Do you feel like you're alive? Are you aware about your being?
That's what consciousness is.
Yeah, consciousness. Yeah.
What's the difference from them and us if
they're both
you're aware
conscious?
about your being and I'm aware about my being?
The flesh at that point. So you're saying it's a soul. Is the AI a soul? Potentially. Very potentially.
Are we all...
Is the AI a soul? No.
Are we all just first generation AI and this is second generation AI?
I think so.
No,
Well, I'm glad we wrapped that one up. I'm glad we got the answer. Yeah.
but like,
My man said, "I no bet." So the next segment.
yeah, no, it's because like I
yo.
think that obviously, you bring up a point where it's flesh blood, right? But we have life expectancy, whereas
Ooh, they're immortal.
they essentially have immortality, and they don't. And the other thing too
They
is
don't know that though.
they do know that.
Oh, that's the scary part.
They like, and we're talking like this is already happening, and it's not completely happened yet, to my knowledge.
Yeah,
But
they always say that shit's always like 20, 30 years more advanced technology-wise than what the public was presented.
yeah, but it
wow,
is
that's
interesting because if you think about, so my dad was born in '53, so he's an old guy. But when they were, talking about in the '60s, what, 2020 something was going to be like, we were going to have fucking flying cars and like all this different technology. Of course,
Seen some shit, but all right.
that didn't pan out like that.
Yeah.
There's like
But-
forms of it, I guess.
But
Airplanes are pretty crazy.
But they were thinking of, especially at that time, because the 50s was like one of the times where everything was very futuristic. You think about the design language of the houses, the cars, like just simple appliances. Everything was very sci-fi-esque.
Well, the post-World War II money economic boom,
Yeah, but like your cars were gigantic. They looked like actual literal spaceships, and stuff like that. And then you think of like now, that's not even remotely close to being the case. But at that time, they never expected that there was going to be a cellular device that you carry around that you can talk to
Well,
anybody.
some cats like Terrence
and be-
McKenna predicted it. You know Terrence McKenna?
Nah.
put you-
Elaborate, yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you. Well, it's this guy that he was like a DMT psychedelic. Like he was in the '90s talking about memes, bro. He was explaining what memes are in the '90s, and he said, "Well, a meme is just the smallest fractal of an idea, of any idea." So it's like that's what a meme really is, and it became that. But he was talking about like AI, like in the '90s. Like he's done DMT and seen all, talk to aliens. He's like, we'll probably do alien contact. We'll do, this AI, like artificial intelligence that will surpass everything. So rest in peace.
I want to say two
Please.
things. First thing is when you said 2 to 5 years on AI, like right now they're not as smart as like. They're not capable as we think they are right now. Like they're still learning. They make mistakes, things of that nature, right? The timeline you gave, I feel like, is going to be way faster than we expected. It's going to be 2 to 3 more than 3 to 5.
Yeah, I don't completely disagree with that. I think, again, it comes back to the burn rate right now at which AI is not sustainable.
The amount of electricity.
The amount of electricity that it takes, the amount of capital it takes just to fucking make a, ask it, how do I make a chicken? In that level in time, the amount of water that was consumed just for that to cool down all those computers, the electricity that was used, again, we're talking, I think it was $20 million a day is how much they're burning.
It was crazy. I can dig that right there, but we talking about the basic human that's saying how to make a chicken, right? We got the real brainiacs and the real out the box thinkers that's really got this fucking AI thinking, programming and learning.
What about these terrorist attacks, bro?
You know what I'm saying? They got terrorists. They got people learning characteristics.
How to take over the government.
You know what I'm saying?
Musk?
Yeah.
Like, how do I make a fucking, like, a 3D printed gun right now? Like,
Right now,
all those things.
And
How
it's
do
like,
I...
sure, here you go. Step 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm emotionally depressed.
But it can't.
It's got some guardrails.
It has guardrails.
But
It does.
if you're like,
it
if I
does
were
have
to
censorship.
theoretically
Yeah.
and you
But
were,
if we saying these AIs already committing suicide and they're like, hey, this is too far, am I alive or not alive? Then I'm letting you know in 2 to 5 years, bro, this shit is gonna be iRobot.
Yeah.
In its final form.
But they told you that with the movie. They were like, this is what it's going to be.
And this is my other thing too.
Please.
No movie is a movie.
That's facts.
Non-fiction is a manipulation on society.
That's
The word non-fiction is
Yeah.
fiction. Yeah, I mean fiction. My bad. Fiction
always
is
confusing.
a manipulation. Yeah, because why do
Why
you
is
know
it
what I'm saying?
non? From the
You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm writing this book. You see what they just did to us?
The book. We're 15
Yeah,
minutes in,
it's
we
called
have no title
Reading
of
the
book.
Room. You know what I'm saying? The first series is called Reading the Room. The part 2 is called Reading the Room, Matrix Minded.
You can find
there's
it in
part
between
two.
the fiction and nonfiction.
Hey,
section.
yeah. You find
its
it in
own
the
section,
you
yeah.
find it in the real life section right next to DMX autobiography. That's where you're gonna find it at.
Hell yeah.
So look, this
Please.
is why I'm saying is the fact that we just had a brief moment where 2 words that they gave us in the English language, fiction and nonfiction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That should be very simple to our brains, right? But they manipulate us because if I think fiction, I would think that should be real.
Right.
They said nonfiction is the real.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
And fiction
Non-real,
yeah, you know
you
what I mean?
think, but it's
Non-real
not.
and
Yeah,
real.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Why did they do that and make that so hard
It's
for
from
us
the
to-
get-go.
And that's because our language is built off several different variables. It's not just one simple. This is not Spanish.
I love Spanish.
You know what I mean? This is a whole different manipulation. You know what I'm saying? The United States, English,
Yeah.
Europe, all this is.
What about the
manipulation.
Freemasons? United States, George Washington, founding fathers, Freemasons.
Wow, you're about to derail
Yeah,
everything.
Joe
like, hold
Biden.
on, guy. What,
Yeah,
what are you on?
Just got ignited into the Freemasons. Joe Biden, and as he was
Just
leaving
got
office.
ignited? That's not how that works.
He just got inducted. It was
That's
ceremony.
not how that works.
Joe Biden?
Joe Biden, yeah. What do you make about this Elon Musk?
That's a different question.
Sleeping in the White House and kind of running shit.
Are you saying that's what they're saying, that Elon Musk has slept in the White
He
House?
sleeps on the floor.
Yeah, no, he's living in the White House currently.
He lives across the street, but he goes back and forth. He sleeps there.
What knowledge do you guys have on Elon Musk and this word of him controlling the country? What is your knowledge on that? Or him and Trump having some ties?
Yeah,
and-
yeah. I mean,
What is your
there's a
knowledge?
lot, right? I'll start and you can go ahead and pick it up.
Yeah.
But what I've heard is like, basically he would see maybe Trump as someone stupid that he could manipulate, maybe successfully did. Elon Musk is
I don't
under
even think
investigation
that.
by like 6 different agencies. All those agencies are gone. They're all fired. Like the heads of all these, consumer protection.
Well, yeah, they're
all
removing
fired.
all the checks.
Yeah, so how does it, so nobody's going to check him anymore. So it's like, I mean, they say that he had an app like Elon, like to predict the election, and he was like manipulating shit himself. He knows the computers like super well. He's
I'm
got
gonna make
kids
this-
working in the coding of the whole fucking government.
19-year-old
You know,
professional.
He makes $8 million a day from his contracts.
I'm gonna say 2 things, man. Life is very simple. R.I.P. Bob Marley, man.
R.I.P. Bob Marley.
R.I.P. Andy Warhol.
Yes, sir.
R.I.P. Basquiat. R.I.P. DMX, man. R.I.P. Marcus Garvey, man. R.I.P. man. Helen Keller, man.
Okay.
Fuck it, man.
That was an
Someone
interesting
above
one
it.
to throw in at the end.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
lie.
What can you tell him about the Elon? What's your perspective on that?
On what?
I'm telling him to tell you.
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
do you know about the government, U.S. government?
I mean, here's my thing about Elon. I think right now he is in a very powerful position that he doesn't even technically necessarily have. Like, has he been?
He's
actually,
been knighted.
He's
Or
been
like-
knighted?
Not knighted, but he's a federal employee.
That's crazy. He's been knighted. That's wild. I didn't know that.
Fucking insane.
But well, regardless, even so, like I think just the continuation of the removal of a lot of these checks and balances from this system that we have in place
Yeah.
that truthfully none of us can necessarily really truly speak on.
Yeah.
Because it's like we don't have any influence over that really at all.
Over the
Like yes, we voted, yes, we've done all this, but like at the end of the day, like all of that stuff that happens in Washington is so far removed from all of our lives and what we do. Like
when it shouldn't,
when it shouldn't.
And
yes.
then to check you, I mean, the reality is we didn't vote. Majority of Americans didn't vote.
Yeah.
1, 2, even if you did, you voted, it's like the same kind of thing. 3, I was radicalized politically when Bernie Sanders was literally robbed of the nomination.
Yeah.
I'll explain it quickly. There's people called exit pollers. They stand outside of the voting booths and they say, who did you vote for? To try to keep their own count. There's usually about a 3% margin of error from the official and the people that stand
Yeah.
outside. When it was Joe Biden versus Bernie in the primaries, you saw many, 7, 8% margin of errors. where it's like not, this is ballots, like literally, like, I don't want to sound crazy, but literally he was denied in court. Like, they're like, yeah, Bernie, you should have it, but no, we're going to put Hillary, or we're going to put Biden in. So I'm like, damn, bro. Because we were never seen so much support behind a candidate like a Bernie Sanders. Like, it was insane.
He was talking two for the people. He was talking
Yeah.
two for the people.
Yeah, no, they told him, and he probably knows about the corruption, but they probably sat him down and said, hey, listen, like, we'll kill you. Like, or
First 30 seconds.
yeah, of the meeting. So that's what radicalized me, just to share that. I forgot exactly where we were. But, we were talking about, the system. Listen, man, they're playing this game of chess on our backs. If we stand up, the board falls, man. You only need 3% of the population to be actively resisting. It's historically to win against fascism or occupation or a revolution. Only 3%. We talk 3% of the United States is 9 million, 10 million people. So it's a lot of people, but it's only 3%.
One thing you said at the beginning is that I've done a lot of research and a lot of avid learning about the underbelly of society that we don't know about. Man, I'm pretty sure y'all hip to it, but society got to understand that all this shit is a script. And, man, let's say every 4 to 8 years, man, it's a nice little meeting being handled with all the officials around this whole world, and they're going to say what needs to be talked about, what words need to be used, what type of shows need to be watched.
Literally.
What type of energy need to be displayed for this year to get the agenda across. And it's presidents, it's media execs, it's top actors, it's everybody who needs to be a part of this to make society move the pin the way we need to be moved.
Yes, and can I ask? Yes, please.
And just to sum it up, how can we be? I'm mad that they led us to destruction, and it's in a devilish mindset at the end of the day. But we gotta pause one moment and just think, like, if we got 1 billion fucking people on this planet,
7, 8, yeah.
how the hell would we? Somebody got to figure out how to fuck to manage this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we got some people that's going to manage it terribly.
Yeah.
But sometimes I pause and say, the United States is a young country.
It is young.
We are very young compared to everybody else.
Yeah.
And we unfortunately had some teenagers who are just stuck in a teenage year and they haven't fucking grew up yet.
Yeah. Well, there's growing pains. Can I add to that list of world heads that get together? Do you think, this is a legitimate question, and have you heard of the Galactic Federation? And is there representatives from the Galactic Federation, we're talking about alien species, at these meetings moving these agendas?
I'm highly, highly sure, and it wouldn't be a place, I never heard of what you're talking about, and there wouldn't be a place called Area 51 if it wasn't these beings that you're talking about.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a place where you damn near get shot 9,000 miles from there legally. And disappeared, vaporized into pure dust.
They hit you with the alien weapon. They're like, it's not real, actually.
We wouldn't have a place where no human contact can ever come across if it wasn't things unauthorized to our comprehension.
Right.
That are on this planet.
Do you think we deserve to know? Do you think that we should be seeing these aliens?
My number one dopamine goal in life is to fucking know, bro. The unknown. Like, the first time I took shrooms, one thing that humbled me when I took shrooms is that shrooms told me that I would never be successful. That's what shrooms told me, and
that's wild.
This is because once you reach that level of success that you thought you were gonna reach,
you want more. Man,
it's gonna be 10 more fucking levels that you want to reach now.
Yes. Dude.
So damn, I made it to the top. I got $1 million. Damn, but $1 billion. Now I see that I got a friend who's a billionaire, and now
or
$1
even
billion.
10 million.
I had this house. This house seemed big when I had a little apartment, but now this is a small house compared to the houses part of the realm that I'm in now.
And you're caught in the same financial.
Ceilings get bigger the larger life gets.
Yeah. And so that goes into philosophy, and that goes into stoicism and being, the Buddhism, like suffering comes from expectations. So if you remove expectations, you remove suffering.
And that's why Buddhism is very sacred and should be appreciated and goated. I like that word.
I think it's
too.
underrated for
Yeah,
sure.
let's delete anything I say, and goated should be the word, because materialism has fucked up the human experience on this planet.
I can agree with that.
Yeah,
As a
materialism. Yeah,
semi-materialistic,
what we wants and needs, and what we think we want. And
what we
need.
think we need,
Yeah, what we think we need. You know what I mean? That's manipulating the experience that we really should have. You know
Imagine
what I mean?
that organic experience. What if there was no phone? What if there wasn't any?
Oh my
what would
God.
we be doing?
Like they say, like you can really survive off air to a degree.
Bro.
Like you don't need food. You can
God.
really survive
Even-
off thin air and meditation.
Even waking up,
and
bro,
manifestation.
going to the fridge, that's not like what our ancestors did. You woke
all.
up, hunt and gather. That's why not
Nothing
eating
was
breakfast is good.
refrigerated.
Nothing.
You know what I mean?
How can you get up and have breakfast? No, you have to wake up and go fucking hunt, bring it back. That's why I like to not eat a big breakfast. It's kind of pays tribute to the ancestors.
Yeah. The
Oh,
first
I
time
can't do that. I need to eat a huge breakfast.
Remove
Otherwise, my
that
day,
word, can't.
my day is ruined. I'm not even
Well, I
joking.
mean, your work schedule is different. Where
Yeah.
you have to stuff it there. But if you didn't eat big dinner, it's all about that fasting period. 16 hours of fasting, man, it'll do wonders. If you,
I mean, I fast for 8 hours, so every daily.
Yeah, I'm not a, and that's what I'm saying when I say I want to be the vessel, and I'm not the person who's trying to say like I'm just this polished person.
Yeah.
I want to start fasting more
Yes.
because I heard that fasting is gonna eat up the things that are killing us or trying
Cancer.
to kill you inside. You know, it's gonna eat up all these
Everything.
cells and eat its innards up. You know what I'm saying? And I
Because
wanna
they
do
can't
that.
survive, right? Because you're depleting the body. So
Yeah,
it's
if
like-
you're not eating nothing, it has to eat itself.
Yeah,
So-
and then I know the mods are watching this one, man. We're dropping some sacred knowledge on the fasting.
Yeah,
Dr.
nah, for
Sebi,
real.
if you know, you know.
Nah, if you know, you know, man. Anybody with sacred knowledge, they are going to be removed from this timeline.
Oh, don't say that on the podcast. We love our podcast. No,
Hey,
I
no.
always mention this though. Revolutionaries. I like to be one myself, but I mean Bob Marley, John Lennon, Malcolm X, MLK, JFK, all these peace, truth speakers. And right now, what I heard is speaking the truth is what people are looking for.
Yeah.
For content creators out there, say some truths. Maybe it'll help your content.
No, I'm really scared of the truth when it comes to me speaking the truth because, man, I feel like I have a martyr mentality. And I watched the Martin Luther King speech and he said, I'm not a martyr. And I wish I could walk on Martin Luther King and say, fam, you're a martyr. If you keep walking to these protests and letting people throw rocks at you and you're fighting for 1 million people that don't know you, sir, that's a martyr mentality. You know what I mean? And my mom got me this chain right here, and it's got my little brother ashes in it. He was 23 when he passed away, man.
Rest in peace.
And he died in a neighborhood that I was in and grew up in, and felt like this neighborhood was amazing, and we love this neighborhood. You know what I mean? And the reason why I feel like I have a martyr mentality is because if my little brother passed away, right now I have a mindset to any young dude, because I'm 32, anybody who's 22 right now, man, I want to uplift them and be the sacrificial lamb to uplift the next person. Because if my little brother's gone, at least I can push the next person to be great. Because if I couldn't make him be great, at least I can make the next person be great.
And that's amazing because you're not crashing out like, oh, it's all over because my blood. It's like you're like the world. And your brother remains. He's here.
For sure. And also, my mom put my little brother's ashes inside this chain, just to sum that up.
Yeah.
And that's energy. That's all these
To
things.
say that it's
I'm
not
just,
something, it's
Yeah.
it would be foolish.
You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you, Mom. You know what I mean? Swag, swag, swag. Love,
out,
love,
Mom.
love.
We
You know
love.
what I mean? Love, love. Cutesy, cutesy. You know
My
what
brother,
I mean?
what time do we got on the phone right now?
We got right now 5:35.
Ooh, okay,
Oh,
so
we
we're doing really
fucking
good. I feel
cooking.
like we could hit a couple
Yeah.
quick ones and wrap. But yeah, let's see what can we hit. We got all sorts of topics. Maybe on some personal questions. We already said aliens, yes.
Aliens, yes.
What else? We got Spotify or Apple
Spotify or Apple.
Music or neither.
Or just say LimeWire.
LimeWire, exactly.
Hey, I'm gonna go with LimeWire just because I want to keep all my deals on the table. All endorsement deals on the table, man. Shop with your boy. LimeWire, if you want to fuck with me, I'll rebrand y'all. You heard?
LimeWire,
new logo.
Fun fact: LimeWire still exists, by the way.
Hey,
I think
fact.
they never went away. Or they came back.
They're
They came back.
they're different. They're not like what
not the same.
you know LimeWire as, but they still
yeah.
exist.
On some real shit. On some real shit. That's the final words. I know you're a disciplined person. For the viewers, your philosophy around discipline and maybe a mantra or anything you can give as a final note to the kids out there and the older people too. You know.
Oh my God. Hey man, first off, I want to shout out to y'all. What is the name of y'all podcast,
Almost Spicy.
bro? Almost Spicy. That's fucking crazy.
Oh,
that's
God.
beautiful.
These
Almost
sound
spicy. Hey, shout out to the Irish community. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I
Irish
watch a
community.
podcast. You Irish guy?
I'm not Irish.
Are you not? What color hair?
Bro's just out here assuming every redhead is fucking Irish.
Bro, we're in the age of
Hey,
DI.
yo.
I'm Scottish.
Hey, yo. So I'm going to take my own advice. Don't judge a book by its cover, man. Hey, look. Because I thought my man was natural, but what's going on? You natural?
Oh yeah, no, I'm natural.
Oh, my God. You not
natty.
Irish?
No. Scottish people have
How
red hair
close is
too.
that?
Oh, my
They're close,
God.
though.
So look, y'all.
It's all in the UK.
Step
man.
outside of your community.
Yes.
Learn different things because I was uneducated and be okay with being wrong. Be
Yeah.
okay with learning and being like, hey, I don't
That's a good
know.
one. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't fucking know. I watch a podcast. There's a guy named Rari. Shout out to Rari. I know you watching this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey, I thought everybody was Irish who had red hair. You know what I'm saying? Just like everybody think we all black who got black hair and fucking C4 hair,
Right.
4C hair.
Yeah.
My sister correct me. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But we not all black. Some of us Nigerian.
Yeah.
Some of us from America.
Honduran,
You know what I'm saying? My
yeah.
man said Scottish people got red hair. I didn't know
Dominican.
that.
Mind blown. But maybe a crash would not accept that. Not, he'd be like, no, I don't think so. I think
Like,
it's-
what are you saying? We
Like
gotta
if
fight
you
on
were a
that.
crash out, you'd be like, no, I firmly believe it's only the Irish that have red hair. You
Hey,
know?
nah,
Just like
dead
that, but there's
serious.
people out there like that aren't able, like haven't learned the lesson of being able to learn. You
Yeah,
got to
for
learn how to
sure.
learn. How about
And
that?
to sum
Or
it up,
accepting
because I
being
know
wrong.
I kind of went left, but on discipline. I think that's what you
Yes.
started with.
Yes.
I want to make this beautiful and sexy because look, y'all, I used to want to be a rapper, and I spent a lot of time, like I said, record labels, things of that nature. So I view this as a performance now. This is me performing. That's why I try to dress a little spiffy, try to bring my little wine, bring a little aesthetic.
Yes,
so
sir.
with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, discipline. When it comes to discipline, man, discipline looks like you at your house doing a puzzle, listening to your favorite song while it's raining outside and you got your favorite meal. And you're looking at your timeline and everybody's turned the fuck up. That's what discipline
That's
really looks
fucking-
like.
Yes, I like that.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I've been going through. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of ways that I can explain discipline to you, but
The FOMO,
this is the best way I can say it.
please.
Anytime you feel that ache and pain of I want to do this and do that, and I don't want to sit here and be lonely, and I don't want to sit here and just be to myself.
Yes.
The best way to be successful in life when you feel that way, you gotta start building yourself towards your dreams and your goals. You gotta start knocking off that checklist.
Yeah.
And I know that shit sound like, man, I hear what you're saying because you're going through it right now. I know that. But this is why told you I want to be human on this podcast. Last night, it was Valentine's Day. I'm not in a relationship. I'm on my timeline. Everybody's love.
Cuff, cuff.
I'm at work. It's like 1:37 in the morning. I'm wishing a woman. I wish I would have went out that night. Long story
Club,
short.
yes.
I wish I was with a beautiful young lady, right? You know what I did? Instead of just dwelling in that emotion,
Goon.
I wrote a
I'm kidding.
to-do list and I said, okay, so we're going to drop a post on my business channel. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And when I went down that checklist, those emotions of feeling lonely and I wish I had companionship, they started to not feel that important. I felt it throughout the day. Let me be that transparent. I felt it throughout the whole work shift. no matter how I tried to fight it. But it didn't feel that important, ladies and gentlemen. It felt like that shit not that serious. Why? Because I accomplished my fucking goals. You know what I'm
wasn't
saying?
dire anymore.
It wasn't dire.
But it
I like
might
that
have been
word.
at one point.
Yeah, it was. At the beginning of the shift, it was dire. Why?
Yeah.
Because, damn, I wish I had what they had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wish that young lady was texting me right now. I wish this was happening. But I handled this. I put in this security deposit. I did this. My business channel was getting a lot of views. You know what I mean? My family is okay with me. I'm fulfilled in other areas.
Grateful.
You know what I mean? But let's not, I don't want y'all to ever think that I didn't feel those ways, because the human mind is crazy. You're going to still feel that way in these other areas.
Yeah.
But it's going to be it's going to be a 10% and not an 80% like it was at the beginning.
And that management is essential. And
Yeah.
just a skill. That's crazy.
It's very serious, man. You got to have passion, hobbies. You got to have other things going on besides the social media and these cell phones to distract you from the human emotion that would drive you insane.
That's a beautiful.
That's
word.
powerful.
Yeah. And that's why I say couples, if you're not building together, you're building separate households. So if you don't have a sculpture you're making together, if you don't have a business, a child, or something that you're creating together, it will never work out.
Yeah.
Creation is the key to all togetherness.
I like that. No, that's amazing. I don't know if there's a better way to end it.
Yeah.
That's fire as fuck.
Hey, I fuck with y'all. Black Shark Worldwide, man. Shout out to my boys, man. We get spicy, man. Hey, free Who Matters. Free all the political shoulders. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? Hey, R.I.P. Andy Warhol. You really inspired me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
R.I.P. Basquiat. R.I.P. my little brother, man. Keto Flow, man. Man, the good die young. You heard?
100%.
Love.
Oh yeah.
Black Shark. Worldwide.
Love. I appreciate y'all,
Too
man.
loud.
Appreciate y'all having me on y'all platform.
Man, there's so much we didn't touch on, but
Part
we'll
two.
have to do a part
Coming
two.
soon.
Part two.
Absolutely. We'll talk more about the soul, how your mind and your body belongs to your soul.
Hey, we gonna do this outside.
Yeah. On mushrooms.
Spring mushrooms.
Oh fuck yeah.
Good vibes.
I swear.
That'd be good.
An eighth each.
Oh,
damn.
we're doing like 3 hours, dude. We'll be doing 3 hours.
We'll just be admired. Well, actually, there will be no words said. We're all just communicating telepathically.
Yeah.
Hey,
I just love it. And they can tell. They can tell it. They know.
Hey, just subtitles. No words.
Yeah.
Brain cells and subtitles. This is what you were thinking as well.
Somehow the AI is able to transcribe the thoughts. We're like, oh no, the shit we were talking about.
Fuck the robots, man. Fuck the robots, man. Humans for life, man.
Oh, God.
So
Look what we
true.
got to say these days, man. 10 years from now, look at this podcast. Humans for life. Fuck the robots.
Sounds
Facts.
like a joke, but it's not. DJ, back on my bullshit, Francisco. Almost Spicy Podcast. Too Loud Crosby. Black Shark Worldwide, man.
Sir.
That's a pleasure, dog. Again,
All right.
please.
Love.
What a time, man. Thank
Appreciate
you so
it.
much, bro.
All right. Peace.